everyone, it's Dr. Rick. Today's unboxing, is on NutZo. This stuff is a nut butter of a couple different types of nuts and seeds, and I found it at Whole Foods. My prior nut butter, because I don't like peanut butter and I don't like anything with chocolate, or at least I like chocolate, but I'd rather keep the chocolate out because the carbohydrate content, so I try to get as much of a pure nut butter as possible. This is my previous one. I like the crunchy, but I can't find crunchy, I just found natural. So that's my previous, and this is the nutrition panel. You can see on the nutrition panel that there is a bit of there's fat, which is good. There's a tiny bit of protein, but there's also carbohydrates and sugar. So the sugar content of 3 grams, and then something of an included 3-gram added sugar. I don't know what that means. Why do they even put that in the 2 boxes? That's right here. So it's a little confusing, right? But there's carbs of 7 and dietary fiber of 2. That means the net carb is about 5 here. So I'm still getting carbohydrate. If I take this, I get the fat, I get the palatability and the satiety, but I also have a carbohydrate hit, which technically turns on insulin. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. This nut butter this is the NutZo, and this is the nutrition panel. You can see that. And this nutrition panel shows a little bit less grams of fat, 15, and the protein is 6, which is a little bit different than this one. But the carbohydrates are 8 and the fiber is 3, which leaves you at a net carb of 5. So I'm still turning on insulin response. But I kind of unboxed it already because I wanted to taste it. It might not, I don't know how this is going to look on camera, but that is the nut butter, and it actually tastes pretty good. So the objective is to have a fat source that'll make make the palatability good and also give you a bit of fat. It's also to give you a little hint of ketosis. So those of you who watched my other unboxing of MCT oil powder, this has what we want if you wanted to get a little ketosis. So this is 7 grams of fat. Hopefully you can see that. There is no 1 gram of carbohydrate, but 1 gram of dietary fiber. So that's a net carb of 0. Protein's nothing. That's pretty good for having, how many calories? 70 per scoop. You can sometimes double that and get maybe 14 grams of fat. So if you wanted to get yourself into a relative ketosis, and that's the big hot button. I'll be doing more ketosis videos this week. Relative ketosis, it still shows, in animal studies, it still shows if you bookend your day with this and maybe you throw in fasting, whether you're vegetarian, vegan, paleo, or ketotic, going for adaptive ketosis, I think it still helps. So you have to kind of step back at the 30,000 foot view and say, what's our objective here? Number 1, decrease caloric intake. Number 2, not eat all day so you can decrease the insulin response. You don't have to be ketotic to do that. I think it's just wise. Use the data and the information from today and get to your best you. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm practicing vegetarian/vegan nutrition now, and we'll see. I'm going to do some studies and show them to you later, probably in the next 2 months. I'm accumulating this data. But this does give palatability. This is a nice fast snack. It is a little pricey, so but I kind of ate both these already as a little snack during the day. Again, I keep my window of eating compressed to about 10 hours. Sometimes if I'm really good, 8 hours, just to induce a fasting-like state. And it wouldn't hurt to kind of induce a little bit of a ketotic-like reaction, while at the same time cutting out animal protein. So that's what my goal is. I don't think everybody has to do that, but it's just these are just other methods to, number 1, give you palatability in case you're kind of knocking off sugar, like a lot of my patients are trying from the winter Chicago. Totally withdrawing from sugar will be a big letdown because of the side effects of the withdrawal. So I think that sometimes putting in some new flavors, after you get the sugar taste buds to calm down, you add new flavors, new textures, new aromas. Your brain will be, I think, fooled and or pleasantly surprised by enjoying these other things that you've been missing. Sugar is so aggressively powerful when you have a taste of it on your tongue. And there's a reaction to that because it breaks down into glucose and fructose, and that's not a good thing. Fructose is not a good thing. But if you're used to that taste and that reaction, it kind of squashes all other tastes and reactions. So getting that out of your system at one time and then getting other things into your system, hopefully it'll be a smooth transition so you don't go through the heavy withdrawal. Truly going into ketosis takes about, if you're diligent, it takes about 8 weeks. And what happens, one of the problems with going full ketosis, which I don't look forward to, is you have muscle wasting a bit. So there's ways to drive and work your protein content per day and your fat grams per day and your carbohydrates as minimal as possible to get you through the day. But it's just a little bit too confusing, and I'm not looking forward to that withdrawal. So if you're just hanging out a little bit in your own bubble and you wanted to tidy up your bubble and your nutrition practice, I think this is a great idea, snack-wise, or if you're looking for fat, or if you're just looking for something to supplement your taste buds. So NutZo, give it a try. I don't know if you can order it anywhere else, but I found it at the Whole Foods in Wheaton. So I give it a thumbs up. And here's the other thing. So sometimes these nut butters are way too yummy, so it's hard to stop. NutZo's got a little bitterness to it because of some of the seeds and the nuts that they have in combinations. It's a little crunchy. It's a little tiny bit bitter, but you can taste the fat, which is nice. So I think there's an automatic governor here that you can't really eat too much because it'll keep you in the moment, versus something like this purely. You can keep on going until the bottom of the jar in one sitting. So another reason why I like NutZo.